5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
The Galactic Dads Podcast, a podcast by geeky dads, talking about all things geek, dad life,
I am the father.
and beyond.
Language.
All right, everybody, welcome to episode 103 of the Galactic Dads Podcast. Of course, we are your dad destination for all things geek, dad life, and beyond. They can include bits of dad advice for any of your daddy issues. And of course, we talk comics, video games, TV shows, movies, and anything else that's basically pop culture related or things that dad does.
Whatever pops into our crazy little heads.
I mean, that's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
But it's part of the culture.
For
So,
sure.
There you
For
go.
sure.
Today, that's going to include our holiday recap, New Year's plans that we would have just done as it is after 2023, which feels weird to say, but here we are again. And then we're going to have a nice opinion section. We're going to cover the topic that I think is going around quite a lot lately, and that is superhero movie fatigue. Is it real? Like, what's going on with that? And of course, we're going to talk about it because we have some thoughts. We have thoughts. They matter.
It's time to have the talk.
It is. Let's sit
Let's
down.
have the talk.
We're going to have the talk. But then we'll also cover the video game that I have been playing. Of course, you know, Laser Eric over there is always on the video games. But I feel like I'm getting ahead of myself.
Word.
I know, it's just been so long. I forgot how to do this.
That's okay. Everybody bear with us. We're a little rusty, but that's okay.
It feels good to be
Glad
back.
you're here, and I'm glad I'm here too.
Yeah, me too. All right, so anyway, I am B. I am always here on almost all of these shows. It feels so good to be back. And today, as you know, I am joined by Laser Eric.
Yes, sir.
How have you been, man?
I've been wonderful. How about you?
I have been busy.
Yes.
Busy.
Yes.
There's a lot of stuff going on outside of the show that has been, for lack of a better term, interfering.
2023 was a year. I was actually talking to my mother about this earlier today. 2023 was a year of significant changes, and it just felt like there was always something.
Yeah, I had a lot of changes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, we will talk about that in the daddy issues segment. But if you guys want to follow us on the show, you can of course subscribe to us on whatever podcasting platform you're listening to. Could that be this one that you're streaming right now, or any of the major ones? We're talking Apple, Spotify, so on and so forth. If you listen to it, we are on there.
Absolutely. And you can also find us on social media at Galactic Dads wherever you look.
That's true.
There's too many social media platforms at this point to keep track. It's ridiculous.
If it's there, it's there. It's fine. Yep. Yeah, but don't be looking for too much there because, hey, we've been busy.
Work in progress.
We are.
Work in progress.
We are. But don't worry. We are coming back because I have rearranged some things to make this a much bigger priority of my life because I discovered I need this show.
Yeah.
I need it bad.
Yeah.
So here we are, and we are back. But with all that stuff behind us, let's talk about what's ahead of us. Coming up this year, we are looking to have a couple more creator interviews. Hopefully, I've got some stuff down the pipe. I won't name anything yet because I don't want to overpromise. You know how things go. But we should have some creator interviews along the way. And, of course, with the holidays over, and we're in the middle of winter now, so winter has come.
Yep.
But
I don't see any dragons yet.
Not yet.
You never know.
Not yet. But as soon as it starts to get warmer out, I think we're going to get that Galactic Dads BBQ page going again.
Yeah, we're going to get to work on that, and I have been admittedly lazy. There are going to be some changes in the barbecue world for myself.
Yeah. Okay.
That's actually a daddy issue that we'll be hitting because you come to a point in any kind of hobby that you have where you have to start updating your equipment. You know, luckily I'm not a golfer, so
yeah,
that makes it better. I don't spend $2,000 on irons, but there comes time to upgrade equipment and make a few changes, and follow us. We'll be along for the ride.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. And then you know what? Normally we do what we like to call the beers of the week. But it is January. It's very common for a lot of people these days to take January off from the drinking. And if you guys are longtime listeners of the show, you know that I participate in every once in a while. I do dry months.
Oh, yeah.
So, just give yourself a little rest, a little reset. And sometimes it's like court ordered, not important, not important. But yeah, so there is no beers of the week this episode,
Nope.
which is okay because we have plenty of other stuff to do. So let's not keep you guys waiting. Let's jump into these daddy issues and we can all have some fun.
Let's get to work.
Oh, yes. It is. That transition music hasn't been working the last couple of times we recorded, which were episodes that never actually got published.
Right.
Because I was just so done with them that it's nice to hear it again, you know?
It is. The head bob is real.
Yeah, it's good.
Yes.
For those of you listening, you'll notice that we aren't mentioning the live YouTube stream this evening because honestly, that was a little difficult to set up, and I was running into technical issues with it. I said, I'm not going to let anything waste time here. Let's just get this show recorded.
Yeah, I think we're both of the opinion right now that getting the show recorded and getting the show up is more important. Let's keep it simple.
Yeah, let's keep it simple. Let's go.
Do the important stuff right, and we'll bring the cool, the videos and the live streams and everything. We'll bring them back.
Indeed.
They're going to be back. Don't you worry about that. But let's do one thing at a time and get it right and good.
Let's get something done.
Exactly.
Let's do that. And getting things done, that's a daddy issue in itself.
Ain't that the truth?
That is. So, I'm going to let you run with this one because you're ready to talk about the holidays and everything. And you were just talking about equipment that you wanted to delve into daddy issues with. So, take it away.
I'll tell you what, man, it's funny because my entire life, my entire professional life and career and everything, I've always been working pretty heavily during the holiday season. I have a retail background, and then even in the car business, it's busy. This year, my job kind of goes quiet about mid-December, and we don't have a whole lot going on until after the first of the year. So I had a couple of weeks to de-res and do some stuff, and it was nice. My wife was not in the full retail throes either.
That's good.
She did agree to help a friend of ours that runs a purse shop on the weekends.
You know what though? Like that is that's a pretty clear indicator of somebody with severe retail service PTSD. That when the holidays come, they're like, I have to go help someone who is in that space.
So I will cheer my wife on for this. She was helping a friend. She was doing a good deed. It benefited us in certain ways. For one thing, you can never have too much money, so a little bit extra never hurts, especially around the holidays, dude. But also, she worked at a Kate Spade store. And we were able to knock out a lot of Christmas shopping at Kate Spade on that discount.
Let's get that discount, baby.
Yeah. That discount. It's all good, baby.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Good for her.
Good.
Good for her.
She survived. I don't think she'll do it again. I think she's done. But
and that's until next year.
Yeah, right. She'll change her mind around Thanksgiving and do.
It's like childbirth. It's horrible in the moment, but then later on, sometimes you're like, we should have another kid.
Yeah. Have you got to that point yet?
Yeah. No, I haven't.
I did. Earlier this year, I was like, I can go for number 3. I mean, medically, I can't.
Right.
So it's cool. That's good.
I also like that we're talking about this, like we're the ones giving birth. But
right.
I'm also talking about this in the recollection of when my wife did want another child. I was like, I specifically recall how not fun it was for you.
I'm down to practice all day, but yeah, I mean, whatever.
Show your work. Yeah. Anyway, move on.
But yeah, no, Christmas was good. The boys had a lot of fun. Steph had a great time. We had a lot of good family time, got to do a lot of things. We all had the week between Christmas and New Year's off together, so that was nice.
I'm sorry. You guys survived, though?
Yeah, we did
I say that, very sarcastically because same over here. Like, we all had that long stretch of time together, which was new for me.
Did you feel like getting back to work and everything was kind of a vacation from the vacation a little bit?
I 100% was bummed that I had to take the extra day yesterday before returning. It's like, man, come on. I'm so I love you guys, obviously. Love the family. Love them so much. But yeah, man, once you get out of like that groove, like there's like this weird funk or like I'd almost call it depression. Like you feel useless.
Dude, I went 10 days. I didn't even know what day it was.
Exactly.
Man. Like, what am I doing?
My wife was like, I have to go back to work tomorrow. And I was like, what day is it?
But it's Thursday.
So it's Tuesday? Wednesday. Okay.
Right.
And now
right.
we're on to Thursday. But you're right, man. There were days I had no idea what time. I was like, when are we supposed to leave the house today?
Yeah. Unbelievable. But no, like I said, it was good. The boys had a great time. You know, they got the gifts they wanted and all that stuff.
Nice.
We bought the boys together a Meta Quest. And
that's dope.
So,
Ask them if I can come over and play.
Oh yeah, you can. Yeah. I mean, I paid for it, so
Kids, get off. Take off the headset. We're gonna download a scary game and watch Uncle B die in your living room.
Dude, there was like a 3-day period where one of the kids at any given moment was standing in the middle of the kitchen, flailing their arms around. It made it really hard to cook dinner, dude.
Would you guys stand in the corner with that thing? Okay,
Right.
I need you to move.
But what is hilarious is I have an app on my phone that if they're playing it, I can cast what they're playing on my phone and watch it.
That's fun.
Which I love it because, you know, Barrett's 7.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want him running across something. Like if I catch something that doesn't seem right, I'm going to take a look because, you know, my older boy, he's a little bit more in tune with the world and all that. I think he'll take care of himself on that. But B's a little, a little younger.
Needs a little more guidance.
Needs a little more guidance.
That's fine. He's 7. It's fine.
But also from a pure entertainment standpoint, you know, they're playing gorilla tag or something like that. It's pretty hilarious.
Oh my God. I don't mean to jump topics, but was it you that put me on to like the world championship tag?
Yeah.
Was that you?
Me. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Man, I could watch that for far longer than I should admit.
Those guys are out of their mind.
That's
I don't
insane.
understand how they do it. Like
I'd knock my teeth out the first time I charged under a bar at somebody.
Oh yeah, man. I'd spin around and clothesline myself instantly.
So it's like grown men playing tag. If you're not familiar, it's like running through a parkour / Ninja Warrior kind of setup.
Yeah, like an adult-sized jungle gym or something.
Yeah, and they're just trying to obviously it's tag, so one evades the other. Now, I was disappointed. It's always one-on-one.
Yeah.
I would love for there to be like 10 kids, or, like 10 competitors out there.
Like 6-on-6 would be.
Yeah, that'd
something.
be cool.
Yeah.
Or like if it was like a battle royale style.
Every man for themselves, 100 people.
Or like you turn all the lights out, you give them all flashlights, and they play flashlight tag on that course.
Right.
All you hear is ding.
Cold.
Like people just smoking those rails.
Yeah.
But anyway, so sorry. So sorry. Back to the gorilla tag.
No, that's quite all right. That was my piece on that is just, you know, watching them play gorilla tag or watching them play whatever is pretty hilarious.
So as far as gifts and stuff, did you get anything good this year?
I did. So Steph got me a set of collapsible prep tubs for barbecue that can double as cutting boards.
Yeah, that's hot.
And they're amazing.
That sounds
And
great.
I love them.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to get a bunch of giant pieces of meat and get to work.
I know.
How about you?
I got let's see, what did I get? It was before Christmas, but I was kind of revamping everything as far as the studio goes and for a new job. And I ended up with 2 27-inch monitors.
And they are pretty.
Yeah, they're nice.
They are pretty.
They're nice. And a new standing desk that's adjustable. So I essentially took my setup at the house and turned it into a 3-screen monitor. I feel like I'm in the office without having to be at the office.
It's a beautiful way to be.
I'm quite pleased with it. Yeah. Very pleased.
Yeah, it looks awesome. Like I said, the standing desk is a game changer too.
It is.
Because just sitting there is miserable. Steph has a standing desk for when she works from home too, and she's constantly up and down with it. It's great.
Yeah, and assembling it's a lot more basic than I assumed, which was cool. I've decided that most things in life are far simpler than I make them out to be in my mind. So
I think that's the way of the world.
yeah, it must be.
So at least it's that way and not the opposite, right?
Yes. Well, when things get complicated, it's my child's homework. But other than that,
There you go.
yeah.
There
But
you go.
for me, kids got way too much crap,
Uh-huh.
as usual. And this is the way when you go to 2 extended family Christmases, and then 2 close family Christmases, and then you still have Christmas morning, and you're just like, the house is awash in a sea of plastic crap.
Oh my God, yeah.
And I just went to scream. Like yesterday was trash day finally, and like it was the second trash day. I was still just in the garage breaking down boxes.
I was gonna ask you that because we have trash twice a week, right?
Oh, good for you. We
And
get the once a week.
that worked out good, but in between the 2 trash days, like there was a point where in my garage I had like a dozen trash bags full of wrapping paper and other crap.
Yeah.
And I had to wait until trash day, and then when it was emptied, I filled it again and still had some left over.
Yep.
I think we're almost to the point where we've got the garage back.
Yeah, I'm almost back to normal.
That's
I'm
good.
almost back to normal, so it's good. This year for the kids, though, I tried to keep it smaller. So my daughter got a guitar.
That's awesome.
And because she loves Taylor Swift now, she's, of the younger Taylor Swift fan age, she was super excited about that. And then because she got a guitar, I wanted one. So I got a guitar, and now we're learning to play it together. Which is awesome. Which is cool. And she, for the most part, is into it for about like 15 minutes. And then, Dad, my fingers hurt. Okay.
Yep.
So she walks away, and I'm still playing. But, so that's cool. At least we picked up like a new.
Yeah, it's a new hobby.
Yeah,
and,
new thing we can do together.
And she'll get over the fingers hurting before too long.
Yeah, it didn't last that long for me. It was about like 3 days. On day 3, I was like, hey, I've got calluses forming. All right. Armor.
Yes, and they will be there for the rest of your life.
Well, that's okay.
Yep.
So then, other than that, New Year's was pretty chill.
Did you make it to midnight?
I did. I did, and I'm ashamed to tell you how I accomplished that.
You took a nap earlier in the day?
No. The wife and I were both up, and we were both fine, and the kids fell asleep at 11, so they watched the ball drop in Times Square.
Cool.
And then they went to bed, and I just continued watching episodes of The Crown with my wife.
Nice.
And probably beverages were had, probably too many, but it was the last of the year, so we had to clean out the house.
Yep, makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
And then we were both asleep by like 12:30.
Yep.
And nothing exciting has happened since. Although it was like pew pew Year's Eve out here. The neighbors were just firing it away, man.
I imagine that you've got a good, healthy amount of, simulated combat going on New Year's.
Like, this is Moscow Millistan.
Yeah, this Moscow Mill's not Moscow.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I mean,
it was
saying.
It was a little wild out here. I was like, cool, this is fun.
Yeah, this is fun. The
So-
dog freak out?
Oh, she didn't come out of the bathroom since like, I think 4 p.m. when the first firework went off.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
4 p.m. Good
Yeah.
Lord. Don't you have anything else to do?
I guess not.
Jesus.
But, yeah. So it was lively out in my hood, but everyone's alive and well.
Well, that's the important part.
And we are into the new year. And the kids, let me tell you, the kids have gone back to school.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Like, nobody. I guess people did talk about it, but before you had kids, you never listened. Man, when they go back to school, like, it took everything in me not to just drive straight to a party somewhere with other parents whose kids had also gone back to school.
I'm sure someone's probably having one somewhere.
Probably still right now.
Yeah, I would expect so.
So today was first day your kids went back, right?
Yes.
My kiddos went back yesterday.
Yes.
And then the only issue I had was my youngest was, again, some type of sickness, so we had to go to the doctor. But he was much better today, so I was able to resume life as normal today.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad to hear that little man is getting better.
He's there.
He seems like he's in real good spirits today, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, he's running around giving everyone the business, back to his normal self. In fact, he loves that song, "The Business" by Tiesto.
Nice.
Loves it in the car. Dad, business? Business, Dad? I was like, yes, I'm a business dad. Oh, wait, no. I know what you want. So we pull up to the mailbox, just bumping it.
Yep.
And he knows the words and is rocking his car seat.
Don't let the neighbors ever figure you out.
No, keep them guessing.
Keep them guessing.
It was Taylor last week. It's Tiesto this week. Next week we'll do, I don't know, something crazy.
Yeah. Barrett has taken a shine too, and I'm I don't know if I'm ashamed of this or not, but it's kind of funny. He's taking a shine to the song Hotel Lobby by Quavo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he should not be like, he should not like that song. He's 7, and that song is really inappropriate, but it was on satellite radio, and I didn't change it. And then I hear, Dad, what's the name of this song? And then he read it, Hotel Lobby. I like this song. Like,
Great.
oh, cool. It's got a good
Good.
beat. He's like, I like the lyrics. I'm like, I hope you don't. I don't need you repeating any of that stuff. Like, we're going to go ahead and change it now.
So is this anybody in the last year and a half, probably 2 years now, are very familiar with WAP by Cardi B, right? Which is an acronym for what ass. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's a song that came out by, was it Jay? Now I keep thinking Jay Farrow, the outstandingly hilarious comedian who does all the impressions. But it's like, oh, hell. I don't even know. But it's called WAP, but it's WOP. It's by J Dash. That's
Oh,
who it's by,
yeah. Okay, yeah.
And that's a club banger. Like, that's just
sure.
a good Friday night song. There's nothing crazy about it. It's got this, like, very catchy hook and beat. It's, and I accidentally played it in the car while I was driving my daughter, my son, and my niece, who is Matt's daughter, back home from, like, the trampoline park. And
Sure.
it was, like, a sleepover thing. And I was like, let's pick up pizza, and then we'll go, like, we'll listen to some tunes. And in my search history, something started with a J, and then, I searched Wonderland by Taylor Swift for my daughter.
Yeah.
And then on the search history, the third option that came up was WAP by J Dash.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, yeah, we're playing that, kids. Like, you're going back in time with Dad right now.
Yep.
And they loved it. Loved it. My 3-year-old's in his car seat going, WAP, WAP, WAP.
Nice.
And I was like, I should probably tell Matt that if his daughter comes in requesting to listen to WAP, that it's not the most recent one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uncle B let me listen to it in the car.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
I can see Matt's face getting red from here, and he's not even here. That would not go well.
I would be too. I'd be like, the hell are you listening to?
Yeah, right.
That'd be great. But anyway, so, that's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, we made it to midnight also. Kids made it. We were over at a friend of ours' house just playing some board games and, doing a puzzle, we watched the ball drop in Times Square, and then, ironically you mentioned Cardi B because Megan Thee Stallion played afterward, and we were all sitting there trying to figure out what she has to do with, New Year's. I mean, if you have to censor 2/3 of the song, why are you playing it on network TV? But that's just my opinion.
I do wonder that. When there's some songs that need to be heavily censored, just pick a different song.
Yeah, just pick another song. There's a lot of music out there, dude.
It's fine.
It's
like a
it's
ton
gonna
of
be
it.
okay. Yeah.
Did you check out, I know the ball drop ones for ABC and Fox? I don't know.
I don't know
But
either.
CBS did the Nashville Rockin' New Year's Eve.
I saw the Nashville one. We didn't watch that one.
Yeah.
We watched the Times Square one, which I don't.
Which Planet Fitness, by the way, spends a lot of money on every year.
Yeah, they do.
Because they are about those balls dropping.
In case
aren't
you're
they?
wondering where your $10 a month is going to, it's going
It's
to Planet
hats.
Fitness.
Hats
New
for
Year's
revelers.
Eve ad.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy. But I don't know. I don't really get a whole lot out of the New Year's, like the shows and stuff like that. And I was reading some things and watching some interviews and stuff about Times Square and how you've got to get there at like 5 a.m.
Yeah, I'm
It's like,
just
no,
not interested.
I'm good, man. Like, I'm going to hang out at my house or someone else's house. I'm going to have a couple beers. And we made some killer appetizers. I made some homemade, like, buffalo chicken pizza roll things.
Yeah.
They
Keep
were
talking.
awesome.
Yeah, that's hot.
And, I mean, I made a bunch of bang bang shrimp on the Blackstone. And, we ate our way into the next year. It's all good.
And here we are now, making all sorts of promises to ourselves that we're going to let it go.
Yeah, what is it? Is it the 15th of January? That's the day where everybody gives up on their resolutions?
Yeah.
Or?
I didn't make any this year.
I didn't either.
So, like, I'm not going to give up on anything. The only thing that I think is probably going to stick is just the dry January thing.
Mm-hmm.
But then on February 1st, like...
Yeah, you're going to make up
I'm
for
probably
it.
going to make
That's
up
cool.
some time, yeah.
That's cool. Well, you got the Super Bowl right around the corner at that point.
True
Even if you
story.
don't like football, you're going to drink at the Super Bowl.
Dude, you know what's really cool is my wife likes football.
Mm-hmm.
I think we talked about this briefly on the episode that did not air, but because of the whole Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce thing,
Yes.
There, like, the NFL just got an entire new demographic of fan.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. Actually, so I listened to the New Heights podcast, which is Travis Kelce and his brother.
Which,
and,
by the way, hilarious.
oh, those guys are amazing. And I've been a Jason Kelce fan for a long time because he's an Eagle. I love the Eagles. There you go.
By the way, they got a real shot this year.
I don't think we have time for me to gripe about that right now.
Okay, well, I think they're doing better than the Chiefs this year.
Slightly,
No.
but yeah. But no, they're number one. Yeah, they're hilarious. Number two, they do a lot of segments where they answer questions,
Yes,
and things like that. And a lot of the questions over the past few months have been Swifties trying to learn more about football.
I like it.
And I think it's pretty awesome. I mean, anytime you can introduce a new group of people to something, you know, if you don't like it, you don't like it. That's cool. But hey, you might find something else that really entertains you.
I do think, you know, it's got to be really hard for people who have never watched football to watch like a really big play and not get excited.
Right.
Yeah, it's not like baseball.
No.
So like big play in baseball, somebody might turn a double, right? 2 outs, you know, whatever. A home run, if they can't get a home run, it's probably not that exciting, right? Which is like this big. That's why the MLB is trying to speed up the game.
Yes.
But when it comes to football, I mean, come on, man.
The big plays are exciting.
It's so exciting.
Very exciting.
So exciting. The only caveat to that, I think, is when there's 2 minutes left and you're like, cool, the game's going to be over, but both teams have all their timeouts. You're like, how did 2 minutes turn into an hour?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, that I get. But I think it's got to be. It's like hockey. Like, if you sit down and watch hockey, you're like, dude, this is pretty entertaining.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, I think it's good for that, like, new group to see it and be like, check this out. What was that? Why didn't he throw the ball? Like, what's the running play? And moving on into, like, the breaking down the game, which, by the way, everything I know about football, I learned from Madden 04. Okay, like, that was the year.
Yep. I get that. Michael Vick was the cheat code.
And that's right.
And,
yeah, he was the cheat code, man.
Yeah, it was amazing. But I watch a lot of football. Logan loves sports, so we're watching sports all the time. Actually, it's funny you mentioned the 2 minute thing because we watch Monday Night Football every Monday. And his bedtime is 10 o'clock. Monday Night Football usually ends around 10:15. But he'll always ask me to stay up till the end of the game. And
that's a hard one to say no to.
Oh, I always say yes. But there was one night, he's like, there's only 2 minutes left in the game. I'm like, buddy, that 2 minutes is going to be like 25.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you're good. Like, you're good. But you're not fooling me by any means.
I'm not impressed. No, we're not stopping at McDonald's on the way after the game. We're already home.
Right. But no, it's very entertaining to watch. I love the fact that you're getting a new fan base out of it.
I think it's great.
I think it's fantastic. You know, anytime you can introduce somebody to something new, that was what the MCU did.
Yeah.
Look at how many new Marvel fans there are because of the MCU, which we'll get deeper into that later. But that's the beautiful thing. Anytime you can add new fans to something, it's great.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the goal, right? Of all things that exist. How do we keep this going?
Absolutely. So do you think that Travis Kelce gets a commission on the TV rights?
Oh, he should.
Probably not.
He should, though.
Yeah.
He should. And if he's only doing this just to up viewings and ticket sales, I think good for him. But I don't know. I'm not one here to comment on a super celebrity relationship because personally, I don't care.
I don't either.
But, if you get more viewers and higher ratings and more people interested in the game, I'm all for it. I don't care why you're doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, if it's two people in love, that's awesome. If not, I don't care. I don't care.
Exactly.
So, awesome. You know what? I think that covers it for daddy issues.
Yeah, let's talk about TV.
You want to do it?
Yeah, I got a little bit of TV.
God, I could do some TV. Yeah. Let's do TV.
I like TV.
Oh, yes. TV, or as I refer to it as, the great time suck. The great time suck.
The big shiny box that's always on.
Mine's a big black box now.
Yeah.
Well, it's more of a black rectangle because they're all pretty thin.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I was watching a video of somebody installing one of those new style ones that are super, super thin, and they've got the box built into the wall, so it's like right up against the drywall.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Now
Yeah,
I
that's
want a new
nice.
TV. I don't need a new TV.
That'll happen.
But I wouldn't mind having one.
If we got another TV, it would be a shuffle.
Mm-hmm.
And that would mean my 3-year-old would get a TV in his room. And while I would make comments about that, I'm pretty sure by the time my daughter was 3, I had a TV in her room. So it is what it is.
We told Logan he could have one at 8, and we're doing the same thing with B. So he will get one at the end of this year when he turns 8.
Very good.
But the next TV in our house is going in the garage.
Oh, yeah, I feel it.
Yeah.
You gonna finish the garage, by the way?
It is finished.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I just have to organize it because it looks like a refugee camp.
I was gonna say I've spent some time in your garage, and I
Yeah.
couldn't. Okay, well,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, the part that you can finish is finished. I guess
Gotcha.
you could say, like the way that the house.
Oh,
is designed.
that's right. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, but
That's
the top
making
half
sense.
is drywalled, and we've got a few things to do to get that organized and everything. But there will be a TV in there so that I can keep caught up on everything while I'm doing other projects.
Exactly. You know what? And people are always like, you could just watch on your phone, which is what Jedi John does. Like Jedi John stays current with everything because he'll just watch on his phone during like a lunch break or whatever, or, whenever.
Right.
Yeah, probably while he's driving. He's like catching up with the latest Star Wars show or whatever.
It's stuck in traffic, so he pulls up the Mandalorian.
No shame.
Please
no
don't
shame.
do that.
Yeah, don't
Please
do that. Don't do that. But yeah, like there's just something to be said for having a TV in every room you're in.
Mm-hmm.
So you just catch up.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
Absolutely.
It's actually cool. Like I don't really need one in the kitchen, but I do have to turn my back on the big TV that you can see from the living room when I'm in the kitchen, to cook. So I think I might need to get like 3 more installed. Just everywhere you look, it's a screen.
We've got an Echo Show in our kitchen.
Oh, that's nice.
And
yeah.
I can actually pull up like Prime Video on it.
That's
And,
good.
When Star Trek Strange New Worlds, when season 2 was on, I would frequently put Strange New Worlds on the Echo while I was cooking.
Yeah.
And it worked out okay. I'm not as big of a fan of watching on the small screen.
Yeah, like I paid for that big TV.
Right.
I want it,
Right.
So,
exactly.
might as well.
But what have you been watching on that big TV? Anyway?
I'm going to be real. I know that typically we focus on, the geeky sci-fi comic book related stuff, but man, I got to tell you, Reacher season 2 on Amazon, I just caught up last night.
Is it good?
So good.
That's awesome.
It's awesome, man.
Okay.
That dude is a walking just mountain of a man. And they make him very true to the character in the book, the Lee Child novels based on Jack Reacher.
Mm-hmm.
And Alan Richardson is, are you familiar at all with the series?
Somewhat, yeah.
Okay.
I've watched a little bit of it. I haven't caught up on anything.
There is this incredibly phenomenal television show. I want to say it was on FX, but I could be wrong. Back in like the late aughts. And it was Blue Mountain State.
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever watch
Love
it?
Blue Mountain State.
Yeah. Yeah, you almost
Love it.
don't you're like, that's not him. That's not him. But he was like he wasn't the quarterback in that show. I forgot what position he played.
He was
but
a skill position player. I don't
Yeah.
remember which one.
he was definitely a meathead though. And like
Yes.
every stereotypical football kind of movie motif they shoved into this character, and he was hilarious. So seeing him play it real straight and serious on Reacher is just so fun to me. And he does it so well because they do, like I said, base him very much on the character in the book, unlike the Tom Cruise movies, which, by the way, were not bad. The Jack Reacher Tom Cruise movies, I was entertained by.
I thought they were fun.
Yeah, I was very entertained. It was like a fun mystery. But this Reacher really is like the mountainous dude who is like borderline sociopathic.
Mm-hmm.
Like he does not know how to break news to people, or he just says things very matter of fact and does not feel any type of like, he's like, what, why would you be angry at that? Like, if you're angry, you should be angry because your friend's dead. And that makes me angry too. So we're angry together. And they're like, no, man, like, that's not how you tell someone their friend's dead.
Right. Not to go backwards, but Alan Richardson played Thad Castle.
That's
in
it.
Blue Mountain
Thad.
State. Yeah, he played Thad in Blue Mountain State.
Oh, such a good, like, and he is, like, this sounds weird, but he has aged very well into like the Jack Reacher.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
role.
I was just about to say that. Like, as he's got older, he looks like that. You know, he looks like he would be just a king of Tom Clancy. Like, if Tom Clancy was still making a bunch of movies and stuff, it would be like this dude would be involved.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
well,
heavily.
he is just in a different type of author's franchise.
Exactly.
Which, by the way, John Krasinski, I think they just finished up the last season of Jack Ryan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jack Ryan? Is that right?
Jack Ryan.
Jack Ryan. I think it's finished that up on Amazon. Good too. But Reacher, man, it's good.
I'll have to jump into
like
that.
the main villain this season is T-1000 from Terminator 2.
Nice.
Robert Patrick.
Nice.
2 first names. I know.
That's fantastic.
But every time I see him, I'm like, yeah, you're probably a bad guy.
I
And
love
guess
that
what?
guy.
Because remember when he played, did you see Peacemaker?
Yes.
On HBO?
Yes.
He's Peacemaker's dad. He's like the white dragon, so he's like this super powered white supremacist. It's like, you have got to be kidding me.
I wonder if that guy realizes that he's a caricature.
Absolutely.
I mean, he played one of the absolute best, most horrifying villains ever in Terminator 2.
Absolutely.
And
Terrifying.
like, yeah, I mean, it's still like, I watch it now and I'm like, how did I watch this as a kid?
You remember my story about seeing Terminator 2 Judgment Day while I was like 5, right?
Yeah.
Mom was supposed to take me to see 101 Dalmatians. We were too late for showing. Oh, Terminator 2 is playing.
Uh-huh.
You guys want to see Terminator? I'm 5. Like, yeah. The atomic bomb went off in that movie, and my life, like my whole perspective on life changed.
Yes.
Like, this is horrifying.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, but Robert Patrick is in Reacher season 2, and he's great. Actually, everyone in that, like, first season you get to meet Reacher, and you meet one of Reacher's buddies from like the police army, which is essentially was like special investigator in the military. And then this season you get to meet the rest of his crew in the 110.
Oh, okay.
And they're all skilled and fun and just great to watch.
Nice.
So if you're a Reacher fan, you haven't watched season 2 on Amazon, go check that out.
Yeah, definitely. I will put that on the list. I'll get to work on that.
Yeah. Now, moving on from that and staying on Amazon, I've been watching Invincible season 2, which is the animated Invincible adaptation, and it's great.
Yeah,
It really is.
That show's super entertaining.
I love
Super
Stephen Wynn. Just found out that he will not be cast as the Sentry in the MCU's Thunderbolts.
I just read that yesterday.
Which, all right, apparently he has a scheduling conflict, and if he's doing something else already, good for him. I don't know that I want to see the Sentry in the Thunderbolts anyway, but that's for another episode.
Yeah, that we could go on for that for a while.
But I do love J.K. Simmons as Omni-Man, and he is back, which is great. Sorry if that's a spoiler. He comes back later. Then, of course, we meet Alan the Alien again, and as we all know, that is Seth Rogen.
Yes.
And there's
no mistaking that.
Yeah.
At all.
That dude is an alien. He's actually really smart. He's bringing a lot of the more obscure comics to the screen, such as Invincible. He is involved in that show, obviously, but as a producer, bringing it back. Preacher, that he did over on AMC, which, by the way, was very good, of the Garth Ennis storyline from Vertigo Comics.
I watched a little bit of that. I liked that.
I liked it. It's good. And, but Invincible's good. What else have I been watching? It's been a while since we've covered it, but Secret Invasion.
Yeah.
I'm going to agree with the critical consensus.
Yeah, I watched it all. I don't know. I faded in and out big time on that show.
I did. It was hard for me to be as excited about it as I was like Falcon Winter Soldier,
right?
Or WandaVision. Although WandaVision, I think, was the opposite effect. Like those first 2 episodes, I was like, what are we watching here?
Yeah, those first 2 episodes of WandaVision was like, if this is what we have to look forward to, I'm going to be frustrated.
I am out. Then the 3rd episode dropped, and I was like, oh, I'm in.
Yeah.
And then I got, obviously, super excited for the other shows. But yeah, Secret Invasion, we'll talk about that a little bit more
Twist
in the
and
opinion
turns
section.
didn't do much for me on that. I did start walking my way through What If Season 2.
Yeah, I've got, I think, 2 episodes in on that.
I think I'm about 2.5. I think I actually watched the first two, and then the third one was on.
Yeah,
And that
gotcha.
was, I'll go back through and give it a better college try later.
What'd you think, though?
So I love What If. I loved the What If comics when I was a kid.
Oh, no, the What If comics were, like, some of the best comics that
They
ever
were
came out.
incredible. I think I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I like it quite a bit. I'm trying to remember what the first two episodes were.
I'm pretty sure the first episode is What If Nebula?
Yes.
So Nebula joins
The Nova Corps.
That
That was
right.
a very cool episode.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that.
Because I love Nebula.
Yeah, I love Nebula, and I love that they're doing things with her.
Mm-hmm.
I was a huge fan. The second one was What If Peter Quill attacked Earth?
Yes. And I thought that one was cool because they're like, what if Peter Quill got his, celestial-based powers and worked for his dad?
What I liked about that is what made me nervous about that one is they were going to make Peter Quill a villain.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't, spoiler alert, they didn't really do that.
Yeah.
And I liked the route they went, and I liked the route that the story took. The third one is Happy Hogan Saves Christmas, and I did not make it all the way through that one.
Yeah, it's
and
okay.
that's where I got. But
I do like Happy.
I love Happy.
I love Jon Favreau.
Yeah, I love Happy.
I mean, he's great in, hang on, which one is it? Spider-Man 2? No Way Home? Yeah.
Yeah, it's No Way Home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. That's Far From Home. No Way Home is the third one.
Yeah, Far From Home is the second one.
Yeah, Homecoming is
He was
the
good in
first.
that one,
yeah.
Some of these what ifs that are coming up, like what if the Avengers assembled in 1602? I'm excited about that one because I remember when the 1602 limited comic run came out.
From Neil Gaiman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm curious
one was
to see
good.
how that's going to go. That's cool. What if Strange Supreme intervened? That could be fun. Hela finding the 10 rings. Yeah,
Oh, that one could be fun.
that could be good. It could be a reach, but I
liked Hela.
I loved Hela.
Hela was
Yeah.
so good. I was bummed out that we've only seen her for just Ragnarok.
Right.
She is a villain that I really think could be very useful.
And they could bring her back around very easily.
Yeah, it's
So,
true. They could.
Yeah. I'm still working my way through What If. I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of it. I love What If as a show just because of the premise of it.
I really like the way that, especially the first season built. Like, because initially you think they're just kind of like standalone What Ifs, and then at the end of the season you find out that they essentially build the What If Avengers to take on Ultron Vision with the Infinity Gauntlet, which is cool.
Right.
Which is just objectively cool. I love that episode.
Yeah, that was awesome to watch. And they're kind of carrying that on with season 2 because Captain Carter shows up a lot.
Yep. And again, on board for that.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yep.
She's great.
No problem.
She's
animated, real life, don't care.
Yep.
I mean, obviously partial real life, but animated, I'll take what I can get.
Of course. So off the nerd train for a minute, I guess you could say, Netflix came out with their game show based off of Squid Game.
Yeah.
And I
didn't watch this, but you're telling me good things.
So I powered through it. I actually let the boys watch it with me because I haven't let them watch Squid Game.
Well, that's
obvious reasons.
Probably for good reason.
Right.
You want to watch a bunch of innocent people get mowed down? All right, come here, sit down.
But they've seen the Mr. Beast version of it or whatever on
the YouTube.
Yeah, on YouTube. And so I was like, all right, we'll let you watch the game show. Thought the game show was really well done.
Cool.
There were some reality TV aspects of it that I wasn't in love with.
Is it like, here's the sob story that you get before the American Ninja Warrior runs?
Or the
American Got Talent story, like everybody it comes from some god-awful situation? Not
so much that, more so like the Survivor thing where people start making alliances and...
Oh, I got you.
They had pieces of the game where, if, such and such answered a phone at the right time, they could choose anybody for elimination.
Oh, well, that's kind of fun.
And stuff like, it was fun. It was a cool idea. There were a lot of twists and turns that made it entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't love the person who won, but I didn't hate them.
Okay.
So that was good. They did introduce a version, like a a battleship
Okay,
with
yeah.
the players.
Yeah. Keep going. Yeah.
And that was awesome.
Hey, you sunk my battleship? Or like...
Well, like the players were the ships. So whenever like there was a hit or whatever, it would eliminate that character.
I'm down with that.
Yeah, it was cool. It's something the kids can watch.
Oh, good.
You know, it's not out of pocket or anything like that. Don't let your kids watch Squid Game, but they can watch the game show, and I don't think that it'll hurt them by any means.
I'm not traumatized by this.
Yeah, not by any means.
Not green light, red light.
They did red light, green light. They just didn't kill anybody.
Well,
So
for the best.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. It's probably for the better that way.
Yeah.
But no, that was good.
I mean, there's been a lot of TV out. Obviously, been going through The Crown with my wife, which that is a show that I can walk out of and come back in like on another day and still be like, okay, I know what's going on here.
There you go.
For the most part. If I have questions, who is that? Because, like every season the actors change or whatever. Same characters kind of stuff as they age them through the decades.
Right.
And so now we've got like, I don't want to say old, but like old queen, right? Instead of like 1940s queen. And so it's interesting. You'd see Charles's shenanigans because we're in the whole Princess Diana era. And I was like, dude, this sucks. Like I would not want to be a royal.
Right.
Like
right.
for real.
Yeah, that was a tough time.
Yeah.
For sure.
And it doesn't look good. We're probably going to end up with whoever the hell the princes and their wives are or whatever now. I don't know. But that's one of those shows where I just sit and spend time.
Yeah.
Like, here's our quality. You enjoy this. I enjoy this. So
sometimes it's good that way.
There you go. That's all you got to do. Put in the time. So I put in the time with that. But the thing that shocked me, I saw just this week, the teaser for Echo.
Yes.
Dropped for the Disney Plus Echo show. So it essentially is a precursor to Daredevil Born Again. And it has Vincent D'Onofrio's Wilson Fisk as Echo from the Hawkeye show. And man, this thing looks violent. And that shocked me. It is TVMA for sure. All episodes will drop at once sometime in January. And it looks good.
Yeah, it looks like some Reservoir Dogs level violence going on.
I was like, dude, this is a little more brutal than Daredevil on Netflix.
Yeah.
So suddenly I was like, I'm really excited for this.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I really couldn't care too much less about this show when it got announced because
I wasn't super stoked when it was announced.
Yeah, in Hawkeye, that wasn't the character that stuck out for me.
Well, Hawkeye was just a great show.
Well, yeah, it was. It was excellent.
I really enjoyed that show.
You know, when I heard they were making an Echo show, it's like, okay. I mean, all right, I guess. Like, that's fine.
Well, I was down for it because I knew Echo was a good bridge to see Daredevil. And so when you meet Echo and Hawkeye and they did the wonderful, hey, here's Wilson Fisk against Vincent D'Onofrio, and everybody's like, yes, yes, yes. And then you see Matt Murdock and She-Hulk or after No Way Home. And you're like, yes, Charlie Cox.
That
like
poor guy in She-Hulk. My God.
He was fine.
Poor
he was
guy.
fine. Yeah, it's fine. Whatever.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Anyway.
But it'll grow back. But anyway, so Echo, when I saw the trailer, I think I was out somewhere. I think I was out with the wife at Chili's. Yeah. I was at Chili's. Hi, welcome to Chili's.
Hi, welcome to Chili's.
I'll take the presidential Presidente margaritas. Keep them coming.
Yeah,
and
every 5 minutes, bring me another one.
Until one of us passes the. Anyway, so essentially, I saw that and I was like, babe, like my mouth was open and everything. She was like, "What are you looking at?" I was like, "The TV. I can't believe they're doing this. Like, I didn't realize it was going to be that hard."
Yeah,
on Disney Plus.
I'm excited for that because I think with these shows we need a tone shift.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think that'll be something. It might not be for everyone, but I think the people that like it are going to
love it.
Yeah,
and also I think that's good because it's paving the way for Daredevil Born Again, which I'm super excited about.
Yeah, I think that'll be really good, and I think Daredevil Born Again will be a much more relevant show.
I agree.
You know, because
I really hope they bring Moon Knight into it though.
Yes, which they should be able to.
Yeah,
it could be a problem.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, those are characters who cross paths in the comics fairly regularly.
Right.
But anyway, so I'm excited about that, and that's what I've been watching on TV.
Fantastic.
What about you? Want to do some movies real fast?
Yeah, let's talk about a couple movies.
Yeah,
We've been busy with the theater lately in our house. I don't know why, but just kind of how it worked out.
It's nice to go back. So let's talk about them.
Let's do it.
And let's get back to the movies. What you have, right? You've been back.
I've been back several times.
Yeah, what are you seeing? What are you watching?
Well, we've done a lot of movie going the past month and a half. Mm-hmm. Both with the kids and without. With the kids, the most recent over the past couple weeks, we saw Migration.
Right, the animated feature.
Yep, cute little movie about ducks migrating south for the winter, and all that. It's a cute little animated movie.
I can dig it.
It was a fun movie. The kids enjoyed it. Was it going to win an Oscar? Probably not. But I mean, if you're looking for something to do with the kids, the little ones, take the little ones. They'll have a blast. They'll be really entertained.
Good.
It's a good time.
Good.
The bigger one for the kids, I saw Wonka a couple days ago.
Is that for kids? Like, is that
Yes.
Okay.
And it is just wonderful. It blew me away.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm really glad to hear that.
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't even know it was coming out.
Yeah, like, that's one of those movies I thought was just, like, rumored to still be in the works. And then all of a sudden they're like, hey, that's out this weekend. I was like, whoa, wait, what?
Right. And what made me super happy is, Wonka, Timothée Chalamet's in it.
Mm-hmm.
Before Wonka, saw the Dune 2 trailer.
Yeah.
That's coming out in March. So that is the next one I've got my sights on. I cannot wait for that movie.
Yeah, Dune, the first Dune in this particular series was awesome.
Oh, so
we
good.
talked about that before, but yeah, I can't wait to see Dune 2. But Wonka is surprising me that how well, like, the reviews and your review is.
So it's musical.
Which you have to remember, so was Charlie in Chocolate Factory.
So you've got to take, at least in my mind, I had to take the Johnny Depp movie,
The Tim Burton version.
and throw it away.
Yes.
In this case, like you want to take this Wonka movie and you want to put it kind of in the same ilk as the Gene Wilder movie. I'm not going to say that Timothée Chalamet is as good as Gene Wilder playing Willy Wonka. I'm not going to say that because I don't think that's fair. Mm-hmm. It's two completely different characters. This is Willy first coming to the United States, first to sell chocolate and first getting involved. And there's a lot of relatability to it because, at the very beginning, you see him, he's singing a song, he's on a boat, he's about to get to America and have all of his dreams come true, and he's all excited. And then he, the real world hits him in the face a little bit.
Yeah, that sounds like life.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way it goes. The cutesy moments and stuff like that you were used to from, the Chocolate Factory, you get to see a lot of that.
That's good.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So is it full of, I guess we'll call it gentrified child murders? Like, is it like, the Chocolate Factory is like, these people are dying. Like, I don't know if anybody's picking up on this.
No, but you do get to kind of see, the madness to his methods a little bit. Mm-hmm. And some of the other candy that he makes and stuff like that, you get to see some of the things that he's showing off and some of the things that he's selling, the style of what he's doing makes you understand everything else.
Is there a scene in this movie where he has some type of occurrence with gum that makes him not like gum by the time the second movie comes around?
There is something with gum.
Okay.
I don't fully remember the gum part.
But it is
there
referenced.
Is something with
I was like,
it,
they got to bring up, like, gum is gross.
Yes, they do bring something with that. They do bring, so one of the big ones in Willy Wonka and the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory was the original, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. It always
with the
screws me
deadbeat
up.
grandpa who couldn't get out of bed till he had something to do. Yeah, gotcha.
It always screws me up because the book is Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, but they named the movie something different. But anyway, in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, they have the part where they drink the fizzy water and they float up in the air.
Yes, yeah.
They harken back to that in this movie a little bit. And it's kind of entertaining the way that works.
I'm down with that.
Yeah, there's nice little callbacks without being obnoxious. Hugh Grant is the one Oompa Loompa that you meet.
So I did see that preview with him in it, and he looked like he was a bit challenging for Willie.
Oh, he was hilarious. Yeah. Like, he was hilarious. The whole premise behind why he's there and what he's doing and everything is just, like, it's hysterical. Like, every time he shows up... I'm going to have to watch this. Okay.
I
started laughing every time I saw him walk onto the screen. Number one, because it's Hugh Grant, but he's like 2.5 feet tall.
Right.
And number two, just because you knew that he was going to say or do something that was just going to crack you up.
Yeah, I actually do look forward to that.
Yeah, it was very, very, very funny seeing those two interact. But no, I mean, go see the movie. It's got good scores. The kids loved it. I loved it. My wife loved it. We were all really surprised, honestly. Especially when Timothée Chalamet comes out singing. I was like, God darn it, it's a musical.
Yeah.
I was like, I should have known this, but now I'm mad that I'm here. But I don't regret it in the slightest going to see it. It's a lot of fun to watch.
Cool.
Yep.
Cool. Well, I'm glad that was good.
Yep.
We'll see in the theaters.
Last thing for me, the wife and I, on her birthday, we're both Hunger Games fans.
Yeah, those are entertaining films.
Yes, they are. And the books are really good, too. And we went to see the prequel, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
Now, is that based on a book by Suzanne Collins?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Now, the prequel book came out after the Hunger Games series did.
Yeah.
But it follows the young Snow, who is President Snow in the Hunger Games movies.
Right.
And it follows his kind of ascension to who he is. And stuff like that. Really, really interesting movie. Really, I loved it.
I feel like they got to work with some pretty dangerous themes in that movie to set up the world that exists by the time the first Hunger Games shows up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you see it's a lot different. You know, it's almost like watching a World War II documentary now.
That's what I was going to say. Like, because... You know, whether you love those movies and books or hate them or whatever, like, there's a lot to be said about that type of dystopian future.
Mm-hmm.
And there is some interesting, like, history. Like, there's good world building in those books from the very first one. And to see how they get to, like, the 13 different districts and the inner workings of the politics, like, the closer you get to the first district, like, things really change. And, like, it's almost like you're in different worlds within different districts.
Yes.
So seeing, like, they've got to go through the politics of setting up those districts and then the first Hunger Games, right? Isn't that what they're doing?
It's actually around the time that most of it starts is the 10th Hunger Games.
Man, that's still rough.
But the first 9, you know, some of the things, you know, for example, Snow is one of the first mentors.
Does that mean so he
did
previously
not compete
won
in the games?
Oh,
he's a capital kid, but there's a
that makes sense.
There's a scholarship prize involved, so they have university students take on mentor roles, and before that, you know, they would just take the 24 for the reaping, they would put them in a cage,
mm-hmm.
and then they would put them in an arena and have them fight it out, and that was what it was. And ratings were going down.
Yeah,
So-
I feel like that would be like a purge if we did that.
Yeah.
Like, for the first one, it would be just bonkers. But by, like, the 5th to 6th one, people are like, and the 7th one, you're like, I'm not watching this tonight.
The third one, everybody just kind of stay home.
Yeah.
Or they'd go loot and be like, what's
Yeah.
up, dude? Like, I'm not going to take your TV. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to take mine, and you're done, you know? But that's, so the whole prospect in the beginning was they were trying to boost ratings. They were trying to create something new out of the games.
Mm-hmm.
And they did it. And, you know, so you see kind of an initial development of, okay, this is how you get from the 10th games to the 74th and the production and this and that.
Essentially the entire thing is like a Super Bowl halftime show.
Right.
But
Right. But what really twisted me up in this movie in a good way was the entire movie. I was a huge fan of Snow. until about the last 30 minutes.
I was gonna say Snow is not a character that you can love.
You get to a point where you like, I liked him. I was rooting for him the whole time. And then I realized toward the end of the movie, it's like, I should not be on this dude's side.
Yeah.
Like, this dude's horrible.
It's like the Walter White.
Yeah.
So, like, you're like, I am rooting for this guy, but he is not a good person.
Right. And when it turns ugly, it turns ugly.
Like,
And
real fast.
yeah, and it's wild. You know, it was fun. Rotten Tomatoes has got it as 64. Audience score's 89. I am much more in the 89 realm on it.
Got it. Yeah.
If you like The Hunger Games, go watch the movie.
Indeed, I will.
I think it's-
That
yeah.
one I'm probably going to catch on streaming.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, just because I think the last Hunger Games I caught on streaming. I read all the books, though. That was back when I was a much bigger reader. Even though I did just finish the new Stephen King book, Holly,
That's awesome.
which, by the way, it's a good book.
It'll make a good miniseries.
That's
someday.
what I'm after. I need
Yeah, there you
HBO. It needs to be HBO.
Okay.
It has to be done the way The Outsider was done.
Got it.
And if they do that, that book will be phenomenal.
Got it.
But anyway, yeah, I think I'll probably wait for the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Yeah, probably catch it on streaming.
Cool.
Which I also caught, probably one of the biggest movies of the summer, just came to Max, and it's Barbie.
Yeah.
So I watched
Yeah.
Barbie, and I have to tell you, I was entertained.
I've heard that it's better than you think
Yeah,
it
I
would
mean-
be, even for like a guy.
Yeah, like at no point was I like, this is stupid. I was like, yo, man, well, how could I? If I'm watching Star Wars and Spider-Man crap, all like Barbie isn't that stretch.
No, it's not.
If Transformers is a thing with 10 friggin' movies, Barbie can get one. But I thought Barbie was good, but I don't know that I like the way it tried to make me think about being a guy.
Got it.
Because, and I'm just, whatever. It's Galactic Dads. We're dads.
Right.
Here we go. I don't like this idea about the patriarchy that everybody involved in it is like menacingly has like malice intent.
Yeah.
Like in the Barbie movie, Ken gets out of Barbie world where his only purpose is to serve Barbie and be noticed by Barbie. He's hopelessly in love.
Yeah.
So he makes it into the real world, and a woman comes up to him and asks him what time it is, and he goes, "Hold on, you respect me?" And she says, "Yeah, what time is it?" And it's like completely new to him.
Got it.
And I just thought that the juxtaposition of Ken finally feeling respect equaled him being in a world where men ruled things and it wasn't great. Because in Barbie Land, women run everything.
Yeah.
And it's, by the way, hilarious. It's funny. It's cute and it's fun, and it's Barbie world, and it's exactly what you think. So there's even weird Barbie that Kate McKinnon plays, like she's been played with too hard and her hair is messed up, and
Nice.
all she does is the splits, and it's funny. They have all the Barbie like missteps. So there's like pregnant Barbie, for growing family Barbie, I think they
Right.
call her, like that. All the discontinued ones I thought was hilarious, but like the thing that I was like I just couldn't gel with was just because Ken went to the real world and brought back history books.
Right.
By the time they made it back to Barbie Land, Ken had turned it into like this caricature of like sports bars and monster trucks, and all of the Barbies had quit being successful women and were just serving the men drinks all day. Like I there was no way that I could just bridge that gap between really successful women somehow being held under this sway of a dude who doesn't know anything, but being like, oh, by the way, men should have power here too. And it turns into him, they like evict all the Barbies from their houses and take over into like dude homes.
Oh
like
my God.
Like it's funny, and it's just like over like simplification of everything. But at the end of it, I just felt like I was like, dude, I think they're saying that men in charge is inherently bad. I don't know about that. And then of course, flame me all you want. Like obviously history is history. And for the most part, women are not in charge in history, and it hasn't been roses or great or anything. But I just I felt like it was not to agree with Ben Shapiro or anything, but it felt emasculating.
I don't love the use of entertainment media to push an agenda.
Yeah.
I just don't. Not saying the Barbie was trying to do that. I haven't seen it. I want to see it.
I think it's definitely worth watching because it's, as far as entertainment goes and enjoying like movies,
Yeah.
it's a good movie.
Yeah,
Like
Steph
you're
liked
entertained. And it's funny. It kind of harkens back to like 80s movies, like when the mannequin comes alive
Nice.
or the mermaid comes out of the water. You know, like Barbie comes to the real world.
yeah.
And that, like, that in itself is hysterical because she expects, like, I'm Barbie. Like, everyone loves me.
Right.
And all these girls are going to thank me for all the female empowerment. And she shows up and they're like, thanks for the eating disorder. Like, you know,
right.
like, and I was just like, dude, that's harsh. So, like, it's a lot of fun. But yeah, I was like, I just don't know how they're trying to make you feel about Ken.
Right.
And if, like, I feel like there's a healthy balance and they overshoot it for the sake of overshooting it, but then don't quite wheel it back enough to be like, dude, this is like how there should be a healthy balance. It's more like, well, if you do anything that puts you first or you feel respect, obviously it's going to be bad.
Right.
So that was my only thing. But, like, I don't think they're working too hard to push an agenda. I think they end up telling a really good story, and they do a really good job of helping you realize, like, as a dude watching the movie, I was like, dude, is that how women feel? Because
Right.
I have no idea.
Right.
Right. I'm like, that's a lot of pressure. And I also don't want to sound like a dick, but you're putting that pressure on yourselves.
Right.
Like, you can wholeheartedly exist without having to worry about everyone else. Like, it's doable. It's doable, but, like, I was like, man, this is rough.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, the truth be told, we don't fully understand that.
No, we don't.
I don't think anything. I don't believe in generalizations for the most part, but you know, there's definitely a lot of it that we can't see the point of view.
Yeah. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, yeah.
'Cause
I'm
I mean,
with it too.
I think that goes both ways.
I agree.
Let me ask you a question, by the way. Does your wife ever does she ever talk as you? Like, she's telling a story and she takes on your voice?
No, that would be hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah. My wife does that, and I'm
Yeah.
never pleased with how I sound. I'm like, am I stupid? Do you?
The problem is anytime that, like, because I'll talk in the dog's voice.
Oh,
I do
yeah.
that fairly frequently.
Which dog? Which dog?
Both.
Okay.
Both. But the problem is, like, I can't talk in somebody else's voice without making that entity sound like they have some form of Down syndrome.
Yeah, like some type of, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
like-
the way like when my wife talks as me in stories, it's like your dog voice. Dude. Like,
Right,
I'm like,
right,
dude,
exactly.
I am not stupid. What are you talking about? I mean, I'm dumb, but like,
I need a treat. I need a treat. I know I had one 30 seconds ago, but I need another treat.
Give me
because
a
you just let
treat.
me out. What's going on? Woof.
yeah,
Like, yeah, I mean,
exactly.
Yeah, I don't have a voice that makes the other person sound intelligent.
Wait, I asked that because I feel like this whole movie.
Dude, I'm going to watch it tonight.
It's actually
Sounds awesome.
the scenes where there's a scene where the Kens go to war, and it's so funny. Ryan Gosling, you know, I mean, he's Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, he's great.
Let's be honest. And he just looks like, I've never seen a Ken doll look like Ryan Gosling in this movie.
That's awesome.
Like, he is, I don't think he had a carb in like 3 months during filming and prior to. But
poor man.
uh,
Tino will do that to you.
he's fine. He's fine. Believe me, he's doing okay.
Literally and metaphorically, right?
Yeah, whatever. I'm like, I'm secure enough. Like, I wouldn't mind looking like that.
Right,
And that's how you know.
right.
Yeah, that's an attractive person. But anyway, all right, so that's enough about movies.
Yeah, yeah.
They've all been good. I was very upset that Oppenheimer is not like out yet on
Dude,
Max.
me too. Me too. I'm upset that I didn't go see it.
I'm very upset. I didn't have 3 hours. I mean, I probably had 3 hours to kill, but I didn't have like that. That was decision time for me.
Yeah.
Like, what am I gonna go do?
The only time I had 3 hours to kill, I didn't have Steph with me, and she wanted to see it too. So I would have felt like a jerk if I went without her.
I feel like if I'd have gone without Lee, she'd be like, good. I don't care.
Right.
I'm like, how can you not get, like, this is come on, man.
Right.
First of all, it's the father of the atomic bomb. Like this, how can this not be fascinating to you?
Yeah.
And look at all the actors in it.
Yeah, the actors are incredible.
We got
The
Cillian
story
Murphy,
is
Robert Downey
incredible.
Jr. I mean, it goes on. I think Matt Damon's in there. Like, and then there's this scene that they show you in the trailer. Like, well, I mean, we could push the button and unwrite reality. There's a small chance, very small chance, but it's a chance. It's, wait a minute. What do you mean there's a chance? Like, I don't think we want to do that. It probably won't happen. But
What do you mean probably?
I was like, this has to be. Also, it's a Christopher Nolan film.
Yeah.
100 million%. I want to watch that. I really wanted to watch it in IMAX, but I guess I've missed that.
I did too, yeah. I was hoping that there would be, like, over Christmas break, there would be, like, a replay.
Yeah, that's really what I was looking for. I was like, they've got to do it again.
Yeah.
They've got to. And if they did, I missed it. So that sucks.
Yeah, I don't know. But I'm right there with you. I'm waiting for that one to show up on streaming. I can't wait to watch that movie.
Good. Oh, there's one more thing about Barbie I wanted to mention.
Mm-hmm.
There are specific versions of the movie on Max, and there's an American Sign Language version.
Oh, really?
So in the corner is a interpreter doing sign language, and I just felt like that's the one I turned on for the kids because I was like, we need to get this to stream. Like this needs to work. So I streamed that one for the kids. And my daughter, 4 minutes into the movie, was just like signing like that one lady who got busted for being a sign language interpreter but did not know sign language at a town hall meeting.
Fake one, yeah.
Like that's what my daughter was doing.
You look over, why are you doing gang signs?
Oh man, she's claiming gangs. All right. Also, what was he saying?
Yeah, right.
But yeah, so she was doing that. I thought it was hilarious.
That's cool.
But yeah, I thought that was cool. I was like, yeah. So by the way, if you guys are gonna watch Barbie, or if it's just a movie you want to put on in the background, watch again, or let the kids watch it, pick the ASL version. Bump those numbers up so they put more movies like that out.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
I think it's wonderful.
I love that idea.
Because for a lot of people, people who can't hear or part of the reading ASL community, forgive me, I don't know the right term or whatever, but sometimes I bet people get tired of reading a movie.
Right.
And would just like to watch it, and it's like going to a concert when you see the sign language interpreter just rocking.
Right.
That's got to be way better for them than just like getting closed captioning as close as possible.
Yeah, exactly. Because anytime you got subtitles or closed captioning,
then
you're missing.
You're reading the
entire
movie,
show.
and you're missing all the visuals.
Yes.
So
yes,
I think that was cool. So
awesome.
I hope that works out.
Yeah, it's very cool. I'm going to look for that for sure.
But there were some movies I noticed that we didn't mention that have come out, and some TV shows that have come out that we didn't mention. And I think we should talk about those now. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of the episode, even though we're like over an hour in.
We want the opinion piece going?
Yeah, let's get the opinion piece going.
Let's do it.
Nobody asked, but here comes our opinion.
Yep, whether you like it or not.
So this is kind of a new segment for us,
Yeah.
but I think it's a good one. And it's the opinion section.
Yeah.
It's my dad opinion about things.
I think it's a good idea because we talk about the movies we're watching, we talk about the TV shows we're watching, but we have opinions that we express to each other via text message and things like that, that we just don't talk about them.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think we should.
Yeah.
But we mentioned it earlier on the intro to the show, but let's talk about superhero fatigue.
Yes.
Is it real? A lot of people are saying it's not. A lot of people are saying it's just the product has been bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that's the case. I think superhero fatigue is very real. But I also think that there has been some bad product too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You know what? What's your thoughts? What are you thinking? Because I've got some, but I think you're going to kind of hit it.
So do I think superhero fatigue, and I guess before I get started on this, I should probably define that for the listeners.
Yeah, go ahead.
So what I mean by superhero fatigue is we have had just a constant stream of movies and TV shows and media based on comic book superheroes, whether it be the MCU, Marvel, X-Men, Batman, the DC universe, whatever. We've had a pretty significant stream of it. And the question is...
Would you lump in like the Star Wars and stuff in there?
You know, that's an interesting point that I didn't think about.
Yeah.
But you might.
I would
because
say.
it could be a collective universe thing just as much. Do I think superhero fatigue is real? I absolutely do. I think superhero fatigue is growing because of the quality of the product.
I will agree with you.
Yeah, because like if you look back, so let's look back at the MCU because it's the most obvious, and we can go into the other ones too for sure. But MCU Phase 1 was groundbreaking.
Yeah, there's nothing like it.
Every movie was good. Every movie was connected in the right way. It was fun. I still remember going to see the first Avengers movie.
In 2012.
It was
Just
so good.
Absolutely mind blown.
Yeah, saw it opening weekend. After it was over, I went and saw it with like 3 or 4 of my friends, and we ended up sitting in front of the theater and talking about it for an hour and a half after the movie was over.
Yeah.
It was just like that. Phase 2 fell off of that wagon a little bit.
It did. There were a few missteps. I guess, was it Phase 3 that they launched Guardians of the Galaxy?
No. That was Phase 2.
That was 2?
Phase 3 was... I think Phase 3 started with Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, yeah. Then Iron Man 3 really fell off.
Yeah, Iron Man 3 was the first Phase 2 movie, I think.
Okay.
And that movie was a train wreck.
Yeah. They had some cool parts in there, but, I mean, it was rough. Phase 3 felt better because it felt like they were building back towards something.
And they ended Phase 3 with the bang of all bangs in Endgame, Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah. That is a generation-defining moment for
100%.
me. I think, honestly, I really do feel like for the MCU, like, that's the pinnacle. That was lightning in a bottle.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for real, because you took this concept that they introduced in the first Avengers, and it was that there was this great universal threat coming, and it was Thanos.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, they're not going to do it. And they show them at the end credits, and you're like, no way.
Yeah.
And then for the rest of the phases, they're collecting stones and building, which, I mean, that makes sense because you need Guardians to get out to the cosmic area and to legitimize Thanos as like this universal threat, which in hindsight, saying that out loud makes me realize why they had to bring in the Guardians.
Right.
Because otherwise you don't get those cosmic people. Because I always thought, I was like, why are they doing a Guardians movie? That's a very obscure group for Marvel to pull from, and then it makes sense. They have to, because you have to lay the groundwork for Thanos.
And that is what Marvel did such a good job with in the first 3 phases, is everything they introduced and everything they brought around, they found a way to make it important.
Indeed.
And even Ant-Man. Like, when I heard they were making an Ant-Man movie, I'm like, what the hell
who's,
are they doing?
Who's asking for
Ant-Man
this?
for? Yeah. Whose idea was this, and why didn't you throw him out a window?
Yeah, and even better, whose idea was it to put Jay Hernandez in Ant-Man and make him as funny as he was?
Right. And it hit, and it worked. And Ant-Man was so relevant in, not just Endgame, but Captain America Civil War and other parts that he would show up in.
Even Ant-Man 2.
Yeah.
Ant-Man the Wasp was awesome because they brought about Ghost.
Yeah.
Which is this incredibly cool character, and they brought up the quantum realm, which laid the groundwork for time travel and making everything in Endgame possible.
Yes. And I think what we're running into now, post-Endgame, we're in, what are we in, Phase 5 now?
I think we are. Yeah, we're officially in 5.
So Phase 4 had more material in it than the first 2 phases combined, which that didn't help.
That's true.
And if we're going to talk about, quality is always based on opinion. And that's all we can do. There are a lot of people that hated on the Marvels for reasons that have nothing to do with the actual movie, and I'm not going to get into it because they don't deserve my time.
Yep, fair enough.
But I think we had such an aggressive saturation just in the Marvel community. We're not even talking about any of the other ones, but I think you had such an aggressive saturation. And I remember when the first set of shows started coming out. WandaVision came out.
Yeah.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier came out. You had the first season of Loki, the first season of What If. I know I'm missing some, but
We are missing one.
Yeah,
and it's
Hawkeye.
it's like blatant. Oh yeah, Hawkeye was so good though.
Yeah.
No, there was another first round it was like a first round show is how I think of it. Like first round.
But that gets back to the point.
Yeah, now we're forgetting.
But we were so hyped up for all of those. And then the first things that we were coming out with, like when we were talking, you go back to those earlier Galactic Dads shows and we'd talk about these shows is it'll get good.
Yeah.
It's a slow burn.
Yeah, it's true.
Or, we were coming
Remember,
up
they have
with
6
things.
episodes to do this in. Like, they can
Yeah.
burn to, like, we're making excuses.
I remember the number of times that I said, it makes me really curious what the next episode's going to look like.
Mm-hmm.
That's not me saying I can't wait for the next episode. That's me saying I really hope they bring this around.
Yeah.
And I think then you look at like She-Hulk
Yes.
and you look at even Moon Knight to a degree, but not as much. Because I thought Moon Knight was fantastic.
I enjoyed Moon Knight.
First episode of Moon Knight, I had to watch a couple of times because I felt like I was on acid. But
That was like the Memento episode.
oh God, it was so screwy.
Yeah.
Like I was having so much trouble. But like you look at like a She-Hulk or you look at Secret Invasion,
Yes.
it's almost like it's an incomplete piece of material.
Secret Invasion should have been more exciting than it was.
Right.
But Secret Invasion did do like really cool things. I mean, they brought in the Super Skrull.
Yeah.
But the problem with the Super Skrull is the powers it has. Because, mind you, the Super Skrull in the comics has the powers of the Fantastic Four.
Mm-hmm.
But the Fantastic Four don't exist yet in the MCU. So you have to give the Super Skrull all the powers of the people present at the war in Infinity War.
Right.
So now the Super Skrull has the power of Drax, has the power of Groot, has the power of, I guess, Black Widow, if you want, Cap, all that. And then also has the power of Captain Marvel,
Right.
which is a big problem.
Yeah. Huge problem.
Mm-hmm.
Huge problem. They walked themselves into a corner on that.
Or maybe they didn't. Who knows? Because if you're going to introduce a character like the Sentry,
Mm-hmm.
then you need a couple of people like Captain Marvel around.
That's true. That's true. You're going to need as much big firepower as you can handle.
Yeah. But, you're right. Even with that, it's a show with Samuel L. Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
And some other really, really, really good actors. And you're still just kind of like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I might watch this. I might not. I might not finish it. I'm not like that invested in the outcome of this.
Never got excited about it.
Never.
And that's the rub. I've seen all of the MCU movies up to the Marvels. I have not seen the Marvels, not because I don't want to see it, just because.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either.
Yeah, it honestly, it was my wife and I. We were sitting there. It's like we know we're going to the movies. Are we seeing the Marvels or are we seeing the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes? The coin flip went the other way.
Yeah.
That's it. But the movies have been generally good.
Well, what do you think about the last? I don't know why people give this movie the business, but the last Ant-Man.
I thought it was fine.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
Yeah, there were parts
There
of
were
it.
some strange choices.
Yes.
With the quantum characters.
There were some strange. That's a really good way of putting it. There were some strange choices with the quantum characters. I think they could have ended it a different way.
Yeah.
And and made it that much better, I guess you could say.
Hopefully.
We were on record talking about how Scott getting stuck in the quantum realm would have been, or even Ant-Man and the Wasp getting stuck in the quantum realm would have been a great way to finish that movie off.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't have necessarily meant the end of the character, but it would have been a good way to wrap that story for as long as you need to put it to bed.
Yeah.
And then there's no loose ends. I thought it was good. I thought Thor Love and Thunder was good.
I had problems with Thor Love and Thunder,
Mm-hmm.
but overall I still liked the movie. I needed Gore to be, Christian Bale played him straight. Like
Oh, yeah.
he wasn't funny, haha, he was still, and I think that's where the problem was. You can't have a Malekith type character from like Thor Dark World and have Ragnarok Thor
Right.
on the opposite side. Like it's just it just doesn't work, and I think that was a problem for that film. Like everything Thor said had to be a joke.
Yes, there was a degree of disjointedness to that
Yeah.
movie. I liked it. I enjoyed Taika Waititi's work. Thor Ragnarok, I'm on record saying that's my favorite MCU movie. It still is. You know, Love and Thunder was good though. Like it got a lot of crap for, you know, kind of what you were talking about and some other things too. But I think some of the criticism, when I look at the movies in general, I think the movies are better than the criticism gives them.
Oh yeah, I think probably one of the most hated films in the MCU, critically and audience wise, is like Thor: Dark World, and I liked Thor: Dark World.
I didn't think it was bad.
It was just one of those movies where I was like, I'm in on this, like I'm in on it, and then you know whatever people want to say about the Aether and whatever Infinity Stone that turns out to be, whatever. I enjoyed that film. And I thought it had a good balance of comedy because, of course, Darcy was there, who, again, shows up in WandaVision, and she's hilarious there.
Oh, she's wonderful.
So she's just a great character. And I thought she brought the comedy that you needed from a Marvel film at that time. That was still, what, Phase 2?
That was Phase 2, yeah. And I think Phase 2 is when they started kind of trying to deviate a little bit and have a little bit of fun with them.
Yeah, well,
I think it took some adjustment.
Yeah, because by Phase 3, like, it's in. Like,
it's dialed in.
That's like the stereotypical Marvel movie, right?
Yeah.
You're like, we're going to laugh, we're going to see some fun, it's going to tie into something bigger. Like, you had all the incentive to go see a Marvel movie in Phase 3.
Right.
And in Phase 4, you're like, why are we watching?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, like, watching because still have the characters, but why was Black Widow out?
But dude, you're right. And that's the movies are better than people think they are. But I think adding the shows into the mix caused the fatigue.
Absolutely.
Because now there's so much to watch and so much to catch up on.
And the problem is, again, what is this building for? Because
nobody knows.
Phase 4, the whole point was to get to Kang.
Yeah.
And you don't really get to Kang till Loki.
Yeah.
And you know, maybe in, what was it, Black Widow, you're really just kind of wrapping up Phase 3.
Black Widow should have, and, you know, COVID did what it did to that movie.
I think, by the way, you're right. COVID's the elephant in this room.
Yes.
If COVID didn't happen, you wouldn't have had the rollout onto streaming the way that you would. You know, like going to theaters would still be the thing. Like you'd because I remember seeing Black Widow and being like one of the only people in the theater, and I was like, man, I'm really pushing my luck here, going out in public.
Right.
You know, like I remember that. But you're right, though. COVID really kind of threw a ginormous wrench in the whole system. And then with the shift to going, well, if people can't go to theaters, we'll let them stay home and we'll push all stuff out on streaming. Well, the problem with streaming is that it's streaming. You're in a content war.
Right.
With every other streaming service.
Exactly.
And there's just so much. And that's where I think superhero fatigue, we've been talking about MCU up to this point. That's where I really think the fatigue hits, because now you're looking at, you know, HBO Max is dropping the Batman, which, by the way, good movie.
Great movie.
Then you still have, you know, all of the DC characters properties coming over there. You have the Snyder Cut was released of Justice League, which was a 4-hour like experience. I mean, that was all 4 hours. And you're like, where was this going? And it looked like it was going to some pretty wild places.
Well, and that's the thing, that, like the Snyder Cut, tied in together really well, but there was about 2 hours of that movie that I was sitting there like, all right, I hope this goes somewhere soon.
Yeah, I mean, that was a movie I was all in on anyway, just because I was like, I want to see this.
Yeah.
I want to see what, and then I think there was payoff there.
I do too.
And then the thing that happens, though, is you're like, well, if I got 4 hours of this or 6 hours of the latest Marvel show, I know another Marvel show's dropping, and then as soon as you get behind, because remember, when movies were coming out, you were like, oh, I gotta go see this movie. I gotta go see this movie.
Oh, yeah.
And then you would go spend your 2 hours in the movie theater, and you were caught up for the next 3, 4, 5 months.
Mm-hmm.
Once it hit streaming and you had all of these options and you started to get behind on shows, you realized, I don't really feel like I'm missing out.
Yeah.
And that's the rub.
Yeah.
I think that as dads and people who are busy anyway, it became less of an event to go see these stories unfold as much as it felt like a chore. Now I have to keep up. If I watch this show, I didn't watch that show. Am I going to know what's going on? Now I don't have 6 hours to go back and watch the last show to figure out what's going on in this show.
When a hobby turns into a job.
That is the problem.
Yeah.
And I think that's what superhero fatigue is. It's way too many choices.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't even started talking about the various shows I listed before on Amazon. I mean, look at The Boys. Season 4 is on its way out.
Yep.
Look at Invincible. Look at Preacher that I was talking about. I mean, these are all shows that most people don't immediately think of when you say superhero fatigue, although they clearly are.
Correct.
And, you know, you're watching these, and that's before you even get to, like, the animated stuff that Warner Brothers is still putting out for the DC movies. The Harley Quinn show, which, by the way, hysterical.
Is it?
Yeah, it's good. It's
I'll
good.
have to check that out.
And then, you know, there's the other live action shows, Titans, which, by the way, like, there's a lot of stuff that was on the DC universe that got pushed over to HBO Max that people aren't watching simply because, well, it's a whole nother content platform I have to get to. I don't have time for the rest of the stuff anyway. And then that's why I think, oh, great, now we've got a whole new slate of stuff coming out.
It just keeps coming.
Yeah, and you're like, I don't know where I'm at now.
Right.
And then I think that's where, you know, Marvel's got a problem right now.
Mm-hmm.
Our stuff's not hitting at the box office like it used to be.
It's not hitting at the box office. And a big piece of the problem there, too, and it's not their fault, is this whole, like, they've got to rewrite their script now.
Yeah.
With this whole Jonathan Majors thing and everything like that, which I'll admit I'm not up to speed on.
Oh, by the way, yeah. Let me help you out with that real quick. So he went to trial for, I want to say, assault, battery, domestic kind of stuff.
Okay.
Whatever happened. I wasn't there. I don't know what it. This isn't good, but I'm going to tell you what it read like to me. Mm-hmm. Do you remember the elevator incident? Who is that?
Oh, that was Ray Rice.
Okay.
Yeah, that was Ray Rice.
Do you remember watching the elevator incident?
I remember, like, yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember my reaction when I watched it. I was like,
like, dude, boy. He rocked her.
Yeah, dude, that was a Tyson-level punch.
Yeah, well, okay, so that is, but if you watch the video up until that point, and I'm not defending or saying that he was right.
Right.
Like, because that, dude, I don't think you should punch a man like that. Like, that was rough. But, like, she is antagonizing him, right? There's, like, some back and forth that you can kind of see going on. And then, like, I don't know. So in this Jonathan Majors incident, when you read the story, it's like there's a phone involved and she's taking a phone. They're arguing back and forth, whatever. And then, yeah, he, I think, does something quite similar.
Yikes.
And then, so there's video of it as well. That I think the video, when shown in court, was what got him convicted.
Got it.
By the jury. And as soon as he was found guilty, Marvel immediately went,
clipped him.
You're fired. His agency dropped him. Like, yeah. And you're right, though. That's such a gamble and a misfortune on Marvel's part, because he is the villain that they set up the next 2 phases on. And spent all this time in phase 4 just to get to.
Right.
And now they're like, yeah, we can drop you, bro. Like, that's not anything we can have associated with us. And so now you're like, okay, well, they just got to recast them, and these are all variants. Or because of streaming and Marvel Disney magic, you go back and the post-credit scene in Ant-Man and Quantumania, all those variants, you reshoot it, and all those variants are the new actor.
How good would it be if they recast Terrence Howard?
Oh, dude. Oh, man. Rhodey got him. You got him, Rhodey.
Next time, baby.
and like Kang meets War Machine. He's like, you're a cheap imitation. Just like giving Don Cheadle the business.
Oh, they could have some fun with that.
That would be great. You're no Iron Man. You're barely a War Machine. Like, oh, speaking of which, the revelation that Rhodey was a Skrull in Secret Invasion.
Right.
Remember that came out? People are like, "Who cares?" Like,
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Like, that's just true. I was like, "What was it?
But
What do
well,
we care?"
that was the thing, and that was the thing about Secret Invasion, dude. Like they killed Maria Hill, and I was like, I thought she was already dead.
Exactly. And they kill her at the end of episode 1. You're like,
Yeah.
either she's dead, she ain't dead. I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah, well, and you and I have been reading comics long enough to know that just because you see somebody die doesn't
Yeah,
mean
I
they're
don't mean
dead.
they're really dead.
Yeah.
Especially when we're talking about shield agents with life model decoys. I
Right.
mean, that was Nick Fury's bit the entire time he was played by Hasselhoff.
Just wait until the X-Men show up, dude. Colossus dies 4 times an issue.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, good lord.
Beast dies, frankly, more often, I think.
Yeah, he's a mad scientist. He's got to experiment on himself.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's messed up. I think
Yeah.
Wolverine has died as many times as I've woken up in the morning.
I
So,
know. It's amazing. I can't wait till the X-Men show up in the MCU.
well, they're working towards that too. So we'll see
Yeah.
how that goes.
Yeah, so
But
there's
see, you know what
hope.
that is? That right there is it. We're waiting for that kind of stuff. Like the stuff we're anticipating and have been waiting on for a long time. We're like, yeah, that's what I want to see. Like people are going to show up for Deadpool 3,
Oh yeah, yeah.
right? Because why?
Because it's freaking Deadpool, dude,
And also
and Wolverine.
Wolverine's back.
Yep.
So
So
like it's now there are things that you're excited about, looking forward to again. Remember when Endgame came out and you were like, I don't know if I can do this. And then you got there and you cried in the theater, you cheered in the theater. It was everything you've ever wanted to see. You know, Cap says Avengers Assemble. Like it was it was all of those moments you had spent the last that was probably 12 years. 12 years,
10 years,
2008 to 2019.
2019. Yeah.
So 11 years building to,
Mhm.
and man, was there a payoff.
Yes.
Oh, it was huge. It's huge. I'll never forget that moment. That time, like that, it was a moment. It's a once in a generation film experience.
Yeah, it's one of those moments that you don't forget.
Yeah, and you can't get that back. That's the problem, I think, with the MCU in general or just superhero films right now. I think it's going to go down. It's going to continue to go down where interest in other films come out, like Oppenheimer, whatever, Barbie. These aren't
The Mario movie.
Exactly. These aren't brand new concepts, but you know what they are? They're not superhero films.
They're different.
And people are quite honestly tired of the same thing.
Right. Right.
So you just let it die down, and there's nothing wrong with that. And then it can ramp back up. Like the generation changes, and you get right back into it, and it'll come up again. I mean, like how many years would go by before you get another Batman film?
Oh, forever.
Yeah, and then you would get people like, okay, either it was good or it was awesome or it was shit.
But it didn't matter because it was Batman.
It was Batman.
Yeah.
I remember the Christopher Nolan Batmans came out, and I was like, these are awesome. I was like, they're opening night.
Mhm.
Well, when I watched the third one again, I was like, this movie is so bad. Oh, my God, what happened?
There is a lot. I loved Dark Knight Rises, but at first.
Yeah, exactly.
But God,
that was
there's
the
a
movie.
lot of
If you
cheese.
watch it again and again, you start going, what in the world happened?
Right.
But also in that movie is a character actor I love. It's Ben Mendelsohn.
Mm-hmm.
So he's in The Dark Knight Rises. He's the dude that Bane puts his hand on and says, do you feel in charge?
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, this dude's about to die.
Yeah.
Well, he also is, what's the Skrull's name? Come on. He's the Skrull.
Talos?
He's Talos.
Yeah.
And I loved him. I love Talos. He's this awesome character that you think is this big bad villain in Captain Marvel. And then
Right.
when they show you what's going on, and you're like, I love this guy. And then he's this conflicted character that you feel deeply for in Secret
Yeah.
Invasion. And he just never gets his due.
Right. It never gets there. You don't see the payoff.
Exactly.
You need to see some payoff.
So you gotta have payoff. I think that's what superhero movies need now. You have to build for something exciting. Like, look how poorly The Flash did this year.
Right. It did terrible.
Everybody was like, dude, I'm going to go see this movie because they've got Superwoman in it.
Mm-hmm.
And she was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
She really was. And then Michael Keaton's Batman's back. And everybody's like, oh, my God, this is awesome. But then you watch the movie and you're like, what the hell? What?
Mm-hmm.
No. Although there is a scene in that movie that was far too good to be in that film. And it's the scene where he's in the grocery store and he talks to his mom,
Okay.
but can't change anything. And he just lets go knowing that what's going to happen happens and it has to happen. Like, I think Ezra Miller did a really good job in that scene because I was like, dude, oh my God. Oh man. But the rest of the movie, I was like, what is this? We got Michael Keaton Batman, like, one single-handedly dealing with, like, Man of Steel villains? I don't think so. And the whole thing was a mess, but other than that.
There have been a lot of comic book movies that have tried to capture lightning in a bottle and failed miserably.
Yes.
I'm looking at you, X-Men.
Oh, the first one?
No, the first one was good. The second one was great.
X2 was awesome.
X-Men 3 was terrible.
That's true. Brett Ratner directed.
Yeah, I know. I had a buddy of mine that texted me. He went and saw it. I saw it the day before him, and he went and saw it the next night, and he texted me at like midnight. He said, I'm coming to get you. We're going to Brett Ratner's house, and we're going to beat him to death.
It's not a real threat.
I'm
They
like,
don't mean it. Calm
No.
down.
That was years and years and years ago, and Brett Ratner's done some horrible things. So, you know.
Apparently.
Yeah, apparently. Allegedly.
I'm not familiar with those allegations, so we're gonna move on.
Yeah.
But I don't think I want to know.
No.
He was probably Me Too'd or worse. Who knows?
It's not Jonathan Majors level, but it's still not good.
Oh,
We'll
dude.
just go with that.
Come on.
But regardless, look at like X-Men Dark Phoenix or X-Men Apocalypse.
You know
X-Men
what?
Apocalypse especially, because Apocalypse wasn't a bad movie. It just wasn't great.
Yeah, and it's hard. It's really hard to see any movie with Oscar Isaac in it and not think this is a great movie.
Right.
Be-
He was good.
Yeah, he was Apocalypse.
Yeah, he was good.
The rest of the movie happens around him, and you're just kind of like, what? You know the problem? You know how I knew that X-Men Dark Phoenix was not good before I even saw it?
I'm curious.
I had zero desire to go see it.
Yeah.
If I'm a comic book person, I love like old school, all that. If I have zero desire to go see a comic book movie, there's a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, I even went and saw The Flash in theaters. Like that was one of the movies I went and saw. I was like, oh, this isn't great.
So I went and saw Apocalypse, and I saw Days of Future Past by myself.
Oh, Days of Future Past was cool though.
That was a masterpiece.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
Yeah.
I'm not a masterpiece, but it's good.
That's another movie where there's one specific scene in that movie that was too good for it.
Oh, what you got?
You probably know which one I'm talking about.
I want to know. What do you got?
James McAvoy talking to Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
The two
yeah,
Charleses
right.
talking.
Yeah.
That was so good.
Conversing through time.
Yeah.
And you're just like, dude, that is good.
Yeah.
That's
that was
really good.
So good.
That
but
movie was good.
Dark Phoenix, I didn't go see in the theaters, and then I watched, I forget if I rented it.
Dude, I didn't even spend that much time on it.
But
because I watched it, I don't even think I got through it.
I watched it, but I remember the thing that really threw me on that movie is I literally never had an emotional reaction to anything in the entire movie.
Yep.
I might as well have been watching Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, it was just like on. It's background noise.
I'm like, this is doing nothing for me.
You know what? Maybe I need to go back and watch that movie. Like, watch it.
I mean, if you...
Yeah, it's got, like, look at the cast. Come on.
Oh, I agree.
Like, there's got to be something good about this film. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't know. But I think we figured out superhero fatigue is real.
Very real.
The content in general, the product isn't necessarily bad. I think more of the product is good than it is bad. I think there's just so much of it.
I think there's so much of it, and I also think that it's not moving towards something the way that lightning in a bottle MCU had before Endgame.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, you can say, well, I feel like Marvel kind of got shot in the foot. I feel like DC gets shot in the foot because they tried to build it and then, like, things just aren't working out. So now we're going to reboot the whole universe again. But we still have movies like Aquaman 2, which somehow matter, but they don't because you're rebooting.
Right.
So what's the point? Like, I think that is the problem that DC has. We're rebooting all of this anyway, but this movie, we've got it. We got to put it out, unless it's Batgirl, in which case...
Which Batgirl probably would have been good.
I bet Batgirl probably was good.
Yeah.
You know what? You know how I know it was probably good? They didn't put it out, because everything else they put out
has been garbage.
has been garbage. Did you even see Blue Beetle?
No.
Yeah, exactly. That should be a good movie.
Right.
And I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, if they would give me a good, solid Superman sequel, I would have probably watched the mess out of that. Like, give me Henry Cavill Superman versus Brainiac. Let's see it.
Right.
Nope. Don't want to put it out.
Yeah. That's, if they would have done, what I think DC should do is they should stop trying to tie everything together and just make everything episodic.
You know what's great? When they do that, the movie's successful.
Yeah.
Look at the Batman. Look at Joker.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they know how to do it. Just for some reason, they won't. And look what they're doing with the Batman already.
Yeah.
Here comes a sequel. Why?
Yeah.
What are they doing with
Don't
Joker?
need one.
Joker.
It's
Folie à deux.
a musical sequel.
Why? Which, by the way, I'm going to give that one a chance because that could be interesting.
It could be.
Because it's like different enough. They're like, well, they could also bomb the bed. But Lady Gaga's in it, so, I mean,
It could be a
it
train
could be
wreck.
great.
You never know.
You don't.
We'll find out.
We will find out.
Yep.
But I think we need to slow down on content. And I think that's for everything, but especially for superhero stuff. Because there's fatigue. And I think that the comic book industry itself could take a page out of that book. I have issue with it. Because I feel like there's just so much coming out all the time in comics. Marvel and DC and Image and, it just gets to be painful to keep up with because of how expensive comic books are now.
And you just can't keep up with it. You
And
don't have the time to read them.
You can't. You don't have the time to read them.
Yeah.
First of all, you got to find the time to get to the comic shop, which I love.
Mm-hmm.
But then by the time I get there, I also now have this nagging feeling like, dude, I'm supposed to be doing something else.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a dad issue in itself. And I think it's part of the fatigue. Is like, dude, if I'm doing this thing I love, that means the people I love are like not with me. And,
Right.
So that's the thing that goes back. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it's real. I think we've pinpointed why we're not building to the right things, and there is just too much of it.
We just have to see what happens at this point.
I think though, if MCU finally just drops Blade, like if Blade comes out, I think that'll be a strong contender to kind of reignite the spark.
Yeah.
Because Blade will be different enough that you'll be like, oh, this is like a whole new take that we can get into, like a different area. And then they could tie him in with Moon Knight and then form the Midnight Suns and have all this fun.
Yep.
I think Ghost Rider, needs a revamp from the like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. era. I think they could work with that.
They bring Nick Cage back as Ghost Rider.
They should bring him back as Mephisto.
That would be good.
Having seen his Dracula, that would be fantastic. I would watch that.
Yes.
Nick Cage should be Mephisto. And then, do you remember how hard we were all looking for Mephisto to show up in WandaVision? And he never did?
Yeah.
He could show up. He could show up in Midnight Suns. That'd be great.
He could.
But yeah, so, and all that is to say I'm not excited for more like superhero content because it's me. If you want to give me another Batman, I'm going to watch it.
Right.
If you want to give me another Superman, I will watch it.
Always excited.
If you want to give me another Shazam, I'll catch on streaming. I'm going to be real with you. If you want to give me a Black Adam, I'll catch on streaming. Even though Dr. Fate was dope. Like, Dr. Fate was cool in that Black Adam movie. I think he was the most fascinating, coolest thing on that movie. Did you ever see Black Adam?
I didn't. I'm going to have to catch that, actually.
Yeah.
It's on Max, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's good. Like,
it's
it's entertaining, but it felt... It really gave me these like strong superhero The Mummy vibes,
Yeah. Scorpion King.
Yeah.
Action.
Like I was like, why do I feel this way about this movie? And I was like, yes. The Scorpion King.
Smell what the Rock is cooking.
Eyebrow raised.
Yes, indeed.
You should watch it though. That movie is like, and especially when you see Dr. Fate, you're just gonna like, this dude's cool.
I'll check that out.
Also, they made Hawkman pretty cool in that movie. The actor that plays Carter Hall is pretty good. Like he kind of nails his brash impulsiveness and he like doesn't stop kicking ass. Like he's like a DC Wolverine for real in that movie. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
Even going up somebody like Black Adam, like he does well. Shazam Fury of the Gods. Did you check that out?
No.
Yeah. Exactly.
Neither did anybody else though.
Yeah, I watched it on Max.
Yeah.
I mean, again, it's like, the movie Onward on Disney?
Yeah.
You know how the curse comes loose at the end?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And then all of a sudden there's this big dragon to fight. Same, bro.
Same exact deal.
It's like same. I was
Same
like, wait a
exact
minute.
deal.
I've seen this somewhere where it was done better.
They're all reading out of the same trope catalog.
There's only so many stories to tell. I get it.
Right.
I understand. I do understand. But it's like, so all this stuff's coming out. Aquaman 2 again. I don't. Why am I gonna see it?
I watched the trailer. I like Jason Momoa. I'm a fan of Jason Momoa, but I just don't. I don't know.
You're like, I don't care.
Yeah, like
that's the problem.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't care. Even what's the next Marvel thing coming out? Something's coming out soon.
Yeah.
It's a movie, and I can't even tell you what it is.
Well, that's the problem. The only movie I know of this year is Wolverine this year, or is it next year?
I think Deadpool 3 is next year. No, wait a minute. Deadpool 3 might be the only.
I think it's this year, and I think it's the only real serious
release.
Yeah, I don't think they've got much coming.
Well, that's okay because with the strike and stuff that happened, all that, whatever.
Yeah,
that plays pretty big into it.
That
too.
might actually benefit the product.
Yeah, slow down
too.
Give people some stuff to catch up with.
Give people time to digest and things like that. Give people time for it to feel fresh again.
Yeah,
I think that's the biggest thing
and then recapture the generation.
Right. Yeah. Come up with something to recapture the minds and stuff like that. And I think that'll make a big difference. So
agreed. So I think we got it though.
I think so.
Very good, man. Very good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look, if you guys have some hot takes about it or want to let us know, hit us up. Let me know.
You guys want our opinions?
Yeah.
Send us a message or something. We'll happily take user submissions on opinions.
For
sure.
We get opinionated. Let's do it.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's move on then. We will do our Patreon shout out, which of course, you know what? Let's just rock it right now, man.
Yeah, let's
get it. Let's get it. Because I always love talking about Keith. He's the man.
It's been a while since I've sung the praises of the man Keith
Jefferson. The OG. The
original, the genuine article, the man who is still here.
The man, our very first Patreon subscriber and our still Patreon subscriber. And he is rocking at that producer level. Mm-hmm. So he gets mentioned every episode. We love you, Keith.
We love you, man. Thank you so much.
We appreciate you. We appreciate you so much. You don't even know, but you have definitely earned this. All right. Well, normally this is the part of the episode where I would tell you that we're going to finish up some beers, but we won't. I finished a water.
Metaphorical beers. Yeah, I finished a water too.
I've had enough beers to make up for 100 episodes of not drinking. That would be okay. I mean, don't worry, I'll do it again. But
yeah, we'll have our times. There will be more after hours shows.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right, so listen, as we finish this episode, we thank all of you for listening. And please remember, no matter what platform you're listening to us on, leave a like, rate, a review, and share definitely. You can check us out over on patreon.com/galacticdads for bonus content and episodes and merch opportunities. And we've got more stuff coming that way. You know what? That's it. That's it. I'm happy.
That's it.
That's it. That's 103 in the bag, baby.
Be happy. It's in the bag.
That's it. It's time to go out. So anyway, thank you guys for listening. And until next episode, keep on doing the dad thing.
Cheers.
We out.